Hi guys, it's Brendan here from Joomla.com again, and in this video I'd like to talk to you about adding custom CSS styles to your fairly boring default Joomla protostar template. The tips and the advice that I'm gonna give you today is it's kind of suitable for any template really. This is just the default Joomla template that you'll get on any install that you make these days. And it's if we're learning about CSS and styling, things like that, then it's a good place to begin, because really the theory is kind of similar, regardless of what template that you're using for Joomla. Okay. So what we want to do, there's a couple of stages really that we need to kind of go through. The first thing is to install a plugin called EasyScript 250 from blackdale.com, which is a plugin that we highly recommend and we really like. And it makes changing or adding CSS files to your website very easy. Okay, and what it avoids is hacking the Joomla core. Okay, because what we really shouldn't do is change Joomla's files, the core files, or the templates files, because when it comes time for updating, which is something that we should all do regularly, if you've changed any of those files, they will get overwritten by the new ones, because Joomla or your template author, they don't know that you've changed your files. Okay, they'll just get overwritten and you'll lose all your work and you'll be back to square one. And if you haven't made a backup, then you'll be in trouble. Okay, so it's always a good idea to use a plugin or something like that to add that functionality. Some templates they come with a ready-made custom CSS file, so you can kind of bypass this step, but some don't, and this is a good example of one that doesn't. Okay, so in the last video we spoke about EasyScript. We installed it, we had a look at it, we checked it out, so you might want to have a look at that video. And also in our blog there's an article giving a little bit more information, and there'll be a link in the description below, so you can check that out. All right. But the first things first. We've got EasyScript installed, so we don't need to go over that again. But we've got this lovely fresh install of a Joomla protostar template, and it's well, to be frank, a little bit dull. It's a little bit boring. Okay. Grey was never my colour, although it can be quite chic. But anyway, let's what we'll do is we're just going to have a look at this right hand module here, and we'll have a look at just changing a couple of things so that you guys just get the idea of what you can do. All right. So the first things first, we need to find the bit of code that controls the module here. Okay, and we can do it from our browser window. All we do is hover over the bit we want to change. Okay, and if we click inspect from the menu that opens up, we'll get the diagnostics for the browser that we're using coming up. They're all slightly different. I'm using Google Chrome, Firefox, Opera, Internet Explorer. They've all got their own versions. They all look slightly different, but they all kind of work in the same way. Okay, and you can see actually straight away here, because I clicked on the grey background there, we've actually come straight up to the bit that we need here. Okay, and we can verify that because if we just hover the mouse over that line of text there, you'll see that the box changes, the color of the box changes. If we go up, you can see all sorts of different things being highlighted as we move across the text. Okay, and we need to kind of do that until we find the bit that we need. Okay, and you can see here just as a point of interest, we've got two that say well, okay, and if we just scroll down a little bit here, we can see we've got two modules, one above each other. All right, so they're just referencing the top one will be the top module, and the next one down will be the login form. The next one on the right hand side. Okay, they both use the same class. Okay, for their styling. All right, so we've decided that our module there is the top one here. So we'll just click on that to highlight it, and you'll see in the right hand box here we've got the direct CSS that controls the styling for that module. Okay, there is some styling underneath it. Which could affect how it looks. This is a very simple template, so there's not much here. On more complex templates with more complex changes, this list might be considerably longer. There might be considerably more entries here. All right, but we really only need to concern ourselves with this top entry here. All right, and we can see here the choices that we've got, the things that we can do. Yeah, just one little thing I like to do, just to clarify that we are in the right place, is you can see that there's a check mark by these entries here. Okay, each one's got a check mark, and just to verify before we change anything that we are actually changing the right thing, just uncheck the box. Now we're going to think about the background color. We'll change that. Okay, so if we uncheck it, in theory, if we're in the right place, the grays disappear. All right, so we know that we got the right little bit of code to change the styling of the module. Okay, the other thing we'll have a look at is the border here. Okay, and again we'll turn it off and we'll just watch what happens, and sure enough it disappears. Okay, so we know here that we've got the right selectors, the CSS selectors. Okay, so what we do is just click on the number there until it turns blue, and we can change that now. Okay, now the good thing about doing this is that we can make changes to the way that the website looks, to its styling, without actually changing any little bit of code. So everything is reversible. All right, and I really can't recommend this process enough. Make the changes here, and then we can copy them across to our custom CSS documents. All right, so we'll change this background color. We'll make it nice and bright, and so we'll put the hashtag in there because it's a hex number. Okay, so this should give us a nice orange color. There we are. Okay, and so that's the first change we're going to make. Okay, the second one is to the border. Okay, so again, click on the information there. Okay, until it turns blue, and then we're going to change. We'll change it from 1 pixel wide to 2 to make it a little bit more, stand out a little bit more. And we're also going to change it from solid, okay, to a dashed, okay, to so a dashed line. All right, it's a little bit hard to see with that color, so let's just lastly change the color, and just to make it stand out, we'll change it to black. Okay, and just click outside the box there. All right, so we can see now both boxes have changed. Okay, because we've got the two div classes here. Okay, referencing these boxes, but that's okay. So they look okay. It's a bit brighter, isn't it? So we'll leave it like that. You can add to these CSS selectors. You can take some away. Maybe you decide, for example, that you don't want the border, the corners to be radiused. Okay, so you could uncheck that. Okay, maybe you don't want a shadow. Okay, you'd have to unclick a couple because of the selectors for the different browsers there. All right, let's see if we can see that reappear. It might be very subtle. Okay, and it is here. So the colors are very subtle actually if we look at them. Anyway, let's we're not going to worry about that. Okay, we've changed that here. This is live, so all I would do is I would copy the whole lot, okay, like that. Very simple. Just highlight it, copy it, okay, and let's. Oh, actually, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get that. We'll just get that back, okay, because we'll get rid of those styles, okay, here. All right. Um, all right, we'll get rid of them completely. There we are. All right, so we can see the difference there. Okay. All right, so what we do then is we open up a text editor. Personally, I like Notepad++. It's very nice, and I've already done this actually. You can see this here. We've got the well, the dot well as the CSS class. Okay, here. But all you would do normally is just paste that into the document. What we've copied from the browser, just paste it into Notepad. But we can get rid of a lot of this. It's not necessary to leave the whole class here. All right, just we only need to leave what we changed. So we can highlight and delete everything else. All right, there, like that. That's all we would need to leave. But because I've already got it here, I'm going to delete the whole thing. There's no point in having it twice. Okay. What I've got here also is I've added another CSS selector, font family. Okay, because we will also from EasyScript we've got an opportunity to add a Google font to the head tags of our website. So we'll just to demonstrate that as well. So we'll add that in here as well. Okay, there. So we'll just save the CSS file here that we've generated. Okay. Now you can see, although I've done it here in advance. Okay, this is the path of the file here. Let's just have a quick look. Here it is. Okay, we need to just go back up the file structure. This is the root file structure of Joomla. Okay, either now I'm on localhost here, so it's just it's just on my C drive of this computer. If you were live, if you've got hosting and your website is live, then this will be in the root folder of your host. So you'll have to access this through cPanel from their file manager, or maybe something like FileZilla. To actually to get this, but you guys should all about that already. What we need to do then from this root file structure here is navigate to templates, and then to the template we're actually using, which is Protostar. Okay, and then to the default to the CSS folder. Okay, and this is where all the CSS is hiding for your template. Okay, the template CSS file here. This is the standard, the default one that comes with your template. Okay, it might be called something else, but it's kind of obvious that it is the CSS file for the template. They're usually fairly easy to work out there. All right, and there may be other files in here as well. All right, we got an offline CSS file with this particular template. Okay, and that was all, just the two. But we've got my custom CSS file, which I had created with Notepad++. We've added some custom CSS information there, and it's saved here. All right, so that's the location. This is where you need to put the CSS file. All right. So we've done that. Okay, now that the next thing we need to do is to come back to our Joomla installation. Okay, to the admin side in Control Panel. Okay, and we need to find the plugin which we had previously installed. Okay, so let's click on the plugins section there in the menu, and once that loads up, we'll find it here. Okay, so EasyScript is the name. Okay, so again we need to open that to get to the parameters of the plugin. So we just have to wait a little bit. This is one of the problems of I always complain about having to wait for the local host, but it's I really should change a few things, but it's a little bit involved, and I haven't had the time. So, all right. So the plugin parameters are here, okay, and as you saw from the previous video, we've got some different sections here, but we're interested in styles, okay, and so we click on the tab at the top for styles, and we've got some boxes to enter in the path to our custom CSS file. So all we need to do is to write templates, because that's where it is, okay. We need to name the templates, so proto star was the name of the template. It was in the CSS folder, okay, and custom CSS was the name of the file that we made, okay. We just enter it in there like that, okay. Just have a quick look. Always just check for spelling mistakes. It's very easy to get things wrong, okay, and then you'll be scratching your head thinking, why doesn't it work? So always just have a quick look, okay. The other thing, we added a custom font from Google, and EasyScript gives us the ability to do that with very little hassle at all. There's about 1,000 Google fonts here. So the font that we're going to use is a serif font. So we just click on the selection one, okay, and then we'll scroll down until we found it, Almendra, I think it was, from memory. So we've got a couple of different choices here. The number refers to the boldness of the font, okay. 400 is normal. Italic obviously is italic, okay. 700 is bold, okay, just regular bold there. Some of these, if we look here for this other font here, we can go up to 900, okay. That's kind of like super bold, bold, okay. But the one that we've got in our custom CSS, I've just written Almendra, but we'll select the bold version here. All right, so we'll add that. All right, and just click save. All right. We have to make sure always that we've enabled plugins, especially if it was a new, a fresh install of a plugin or an extension or a module or something like that. So it's always worth just checking that you have actually enabled it, and it's where are we? Let's go back here. So we're all right, we're enabled, okay. Many times that gets forgotten, okay. So there we are. So we've got our style, okay, we've chosen our font, we've saved our plugin. All right, so all we have to do now is come back to the home page and check whether everything works. And with a little bit of luck, when we click refresh, we should have a lovely orange background on our module and a dashed line. There we are, and you can see that the font style has changed. Okay, if we just scroll up a little bit, this is the default font. I think it's Open Sans for this template, but you can see the custom font that we put in here has been applied just to the module position. All right. So there we are. A very, very basic introduction to adding some custom CSS to your Joomla template, beginner level. So by all means comment, guys, but just bear in mind that this is elementary beginner level tutorial. But the methods involved, the methods that I've spoken about in this video are, they're universal. EasyScript 250 can be installed on any Joomla site, and it makes adding custom CSS or JavaScript or Google Fonts or anything else that you need to add into the head tags of your template a piece of cake. All right. So there we are. Right, I think that will just about do. Thanks very much for bearing with me on that. Hopefully it's been informative for you. I'm sure I'll be along with another gem of information for you. Try to make Joomla a little less daunting, a little easier. Some answers to some common questions, common problems. So thanks very much, guys. Until next time, have a good night. Take care, everybody.